James Gunn will be directing Superman Legacy, and I don't see how that was a surprise to anyone.
I was surprised.
You were surprised?
Not too surprised, but I would have asked for a different director.
All right, we'll get into that. But so the thing about Superman Legacy, why I wasn't so surprised, is that James Gunn is known to be a hardcore Superman fan. He's been a Superman fan since he was little. And so when James Gunn was 11 years old, James Gunn was pretty much a loner. All he did was stick to himself. And so his father, his mom and dad brought him to a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist told his father, like, hey, look, your son, like, you should probably take more interest into the things that your son's in. And James Gunn was interested in comic books. And so what James Gunn's father did was he brought him over to the Chicago Comic-Con at the time. They bought a bunch of Superman comics and stuff like that.
Back when you was able to just get a ticket.
Back when you was just able to get a ticket for like $2. And so from there, James Gunn's father, one of James Gunn's favorite moments that he shared with his father was that one day he walked in on his father reading a Superman comic on his own. So it's kind of like, you know, introducing your parents to anime, and it's like, oh snap. That kind of lit up a spark in James Gunn. And it was no surprise to me that James Gunn was going to direct this, because when James Gunn finished writing it and they announced the release date for July 11, 2025, James Gunn showed the script to his brother, and they both started crying because his brother was like, yo, look at the date on the script. And he was like, what happened? He was like, yo, that's Dad's birthday. And I don't think James Gunn's father's with us anymore. But I just think that this is a deeply emotional story, because we also have a gist of what the synopsis is going to be about. It's not really a real synopsis. People are using synopsis as like clickbait, but we have an idea of what the film is going to be about. And this is from James Gunn's mouth, where basically James Gunn is going to have Superman's parents, Martha and Jonathan Kent, be dead. This movie is going to focus on Superman being a real beacon of hope, rather than the cynical Zack Snyder Superman, which I love. I love that Superman, but there was a lot of you guys in the comment section to one of our Superman videos that said that the same way that we feel about The Dark Knight, it's a good Batman, but it's not Batman. I understand where you guys are coming from with the whole Man of Steel performance when they put it that way. I feel you guys. So you guys are definitely going to get your Superman. Honestly, my only thing is the costume and the underwear. That's all I'm really concerned about. I don't want to see on-screen underwear. But I'm on board as James Gunn directing this. This sounds like a plan. I'm 100% with that. How do you feel?
I don't want it to feel like a James Gunn movie, though, if that makes sense. And I don't want to say this just because, like, I was going to say, oh, look at Guardians and Suicide Squad. Damn, they're the same movie.
I don't think it's going to feel like that. I don't know why. I think about Edgar Wright, right? Edgar Wright's most recent film, and this has nothing to do with James Gunn, but it gives me hope in directors, because, you know, Edgar Wright has a strong directing style, right? But with James Gunn,
Scott Pilgrim, right?
Yeah, Scott Pilgrim, Shaun of the Dead.
Wasn't he originally supposed to do Ant-Man 1?
He was. And that's why he has his DNA all over Ant-Man 1 with the whole talking dialogue and all that. That was all him. And so I have hope in it, because his last film was A Late Night in Soho. And I think James Gunn, and that was completely different from everything that he's ever done. And I respect that a director is willing to take those chances. And I think James Gunn is no different. I think James Gunn could give us a solid Superman movie. Obviously, it'll have some jokes in there. It's going to be very campy. I think he could do it, just as long as he doesn't take it over the top. So I'm expecting James Gunn, but tone it down just a little bit. We don't know who our villains are going to be yet. We don't know anything about that. We don't know what the exact plot is.
You got any thoughts on who you would?
We mentioned Brainiac.
Oh yeah.
I'm 100% cool with Brainiac.
Nah, not for a first movie.
No, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
First movie.
We've already got General Zod, and then General Zod. We already got General Zod. And then the only other person that I could think of that James Gunn would actually do is Bizarro. But I would imagine that he wants to do a more serious-ish film.
I feel like those are too Bizarro, and Brainiac's too big of a villain for just a first movie.
Okay.
Bizarro, I feel like you can't just start off your first movie with Bizarro. There's
that's too goofy. That's too goofy too.
There's things that go into bringing in Bizarro, like.
I don't know. I would wonder. He might do Lex Luthor. The problem with Lex Luthor is just the power scaling.
That's the Lex is always like a side though.
Lex will always be Lex is always the main, but he's always like
the boy pulling the strings though. Like
yeah, but when Lex goes toe to toe with Superman, he has some shit on. You get what I'm saying?
The Lex suit.
Yeah, so it's like it's just a little bit too early to introduce all of that.
They might as well cast Jeff Bezos as like call it a day, bro.
He is Aki, bro. Jeff Bezos is still Aki.
Wait up.
So
but, you feel me? They might as well, bro. That'd be perfect.
But I don't know, man. I mean, there's not really much to say about the whole James Gunn thing so far, rather than just the whole backstory. And I'm 100% with it. It's the start of the DCEU. So far, Shazam is tanking, and he has nothing to do with Shazam. He's going to have nothing to do with The Flash, and everyone's saying good things about The Flash movie. So, yeah, I don't know. I have high hopes for this movie. I think James Gunn will do a good job. We got to give directors a chance to try things that are out of their wheelhouse, you know? And I think he's a great writer. He's written a lot of stuff, so I don't put it past him that this could be one of the greatest comic book accurate movies that we're going to get. I think he did a beautiful job with Suicide Squad. And that was like pretty much a moving comic book. That was a motion comic in live action, bro. So I'm not scared of Superman.
Bro. I think Scott Pilgrim gets left out of the
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Left out of those
that
conversations.
Is very
like when
true.
people say comic book, they always go straight to DC and Marvel. Yeah, but I don't know. I think Scott Pilgrim gets left out of that conversation too much. It could easily be.
You have to say top 5, top 3.
I was about to say top 3.
Aesthetically, yeah. Aesthetically, I give it the aesthetic.
Adaptation?
Yeah, I think this Superman movie, I'm very hopeful about it. Just like the S on Superman's chest. Hope. I think James Gunn will do a good job. And there's a lot of personal involvement in it. It only makes sense that he kicks off the the new DC universe, because he's the CEO. He's also writing it. Why not direct it on top of that? You know what I mean? Set the tone, set the pace for what you want everybody to go forward and do, and then go from there. Because he's already about to start off with weird shit like, what's it called?
Commando.
Creature Commandos and Authority Patrol. Guys, relax. I'm joking around. Like, relax. But yeah, comment down below what you guys think about James Gunn directing the brand new Superman movie coming out July 11th, 2025. And we'll see you in the next encounter.
Peace.